Hi everybody, it's Kevin Van Ord here, standing in for reviewer Nick Capizzoli to give you our updated review of Arma 3. Arma 3's campaign was released piecemeal over the last few months, with its final act landing in March. Ultimately, it wasn't worth the wait, given the campaign's inconsistent mission quality, threadbare plot, and groan-inducing voice acting.
Take a left at the T-junction. And Carrie, do try not to make roadkill of the local wildlife. The greenbacks already hate our guts. We need to at least keep the goat population on side. You copy that, soldier?
Minimize collateral damage, sir. Hearts and minds, sir.
Luckily, the rest of the game still carries its share of the weight, and it's online and in the user-created scenarios that Arma 3 busts free of the campaign's constraints. But a campaign was promised, and it has been delivered. NATO forces are in the midst of a drawdown on the island of Stratus when the once-friendly local forces lash out in a surprise attack. A multi-stage affair ensues in 3 stages called Survive, Adapt, and Win. You, as one Corporal Carey, take on an escalating part in an escalating war, eventually graduating from a follower role on Stratus's meager 20 square kilometers to commanding a squad on Altus and its staggering 270 square kilometers. There are a few vague allusions to an overarching plot, but the story is relegated to simple background noise. The campaign is a strange beast, torn between the tedium of real warfare and the Hollywood bombast of, well, modern warfare. The game sends you lumbering across the hills and valleys of Altus for miles without encountering anything worth firing around at. Then an electric guitar wails, a helicopter starts strafing your position, and you're forced to bug out at the same ponderous pace that you entered with seconds ago. The fractured nature of Arma 3's campaign makes for an uneven experience at best, but that variability does have an accentuating effect when things fall into a more natural stride. For one, there's a real fragility to Carey and his unit. The introduction of the island of Altus is another high point, presenting a rigorous mission that sees Carey attempting to rearm and regroup after being stranded behind enemy lines. When Arma 3 forgets its half-baked tale of Black Ops intrigue and leans on the more tangible drama of a botched rescue, it simmers and then erupts in ways most shooters can't.
Soldier! Machine gunner! 75 meters! Behind us!
In the campaign and outside of it, there's no room for mistakes when you're this fragile. You might succumb to razor-accurate shots fired by enemies in distant hills, even when they aren't equipped with scopes. And many of these instances are learning experiences. At other times, like when you're gunned down because you've opened the map when the game told you to, death doesn't always feel fair. In either case, you need to pay constant attention and master the finicky controls, which lend the combat a certain amount of gravitas. Most modern shooters grant an athletic flourish to the act of killing. Here, the satisfaction of downing an enemy comes from the knowledge that he won't be shooting at you anymore, not in how adroitly you headshotted him. Though Arma 3's campaign may be a bit of a dud, the rest of the game remains more than capable of carrying a payload. There are the packaged showcases, which introduce the game's more varied weapons, vehicles, and techniques in isolation. There's a firing range that offers a bit of shooting gallery-style diversion. What's of more significance is the multiplayer. One good session is worth trawling the server browser for a little while. It's a blast to leapfrog between bits of cover and to sweep buildings with a collective conscience. Better still is the library of mods, packed with thousands of player-created variants that run the gamut from rally races to dynamic war simulations. You can take on a gauntlet of snipers, attempt a recreation of the real-life Neptune Spear mission, and explore Wasteland, a survivalist affair that highlights Arma 3's talent for brooding, deliberate engagements. Or you could simply wander the islands, grabbing a few pictures to put alongside the towns, salt flats, and castles that litter the map's expansive topography. In any direction you go, there's loosely structured fun to be had. In light of the disappointing campaign, you're best off taking to those hills on your own or with friends and creating your own kind of warfare.